The title of this video keeps resurfacing because fans are not only shocked by the car crash involving Anthony Joshua, they are also questioning it. Online, some people have begun spreading rumors and speculation, suggesting that Jake Paul's jealousy after being knocked out could be connected to something more troubling. However, it is important to be clear that there is no evidence at all linking Jake Paul to the accident. These claims are based purely on online whispers and speculation, not facts or confirmed information.
It started going out of control and smashed into a stationary truck. Boom! Ooh. People everywhere held their breath. This seemed like an attempted sacrifice on AJ's life for his victory over Jake Paul. You know that devil coming to collect when you accept that check. The entire world watched on video as they seen him help out that car shirtless in pain. Joshua is a man who has felt 12-ounce gloves hit him in his mouth. But now he is feeling a different kind of pain, the kind of pain you don't trust.
Logan Paul's response has caught a lot of attention and has only intensified online conspiracy talk. Rather than offering sympathy, he chose to speak about karma and referenced Anthony Joshua's time in the hospital. To many fans, this came across as distant and cold. Supporters online believe his comments showed a lack of sensitivity instead of genuine concern for a boxing legend who had just been seriously involved in an accident. As a result, fans feel his reaction added more controversy to an already emotional situation, further fueling criticism toward the Paul camp.
Unbelievable loss. Sinna at Latif are two incredible people who were not only part of AJ's team, but also friends. My sincere condolences to their families, loved ones, and everyone who knew them. Anthony Joshua, wishing you a speedy recovery. Stay strong.
Alexander Usyk's response after the horrific crash that injured Anthony Joshua and tragically killed two close friends showed what real class in boxing truly looks like. While the Paul camp has been criticized for avoiding responsibility and making awkward comments about karma, Usyk spoke with genuine respect and compassion. He did not turn the moment into online drama or make it about himself. Instead, he recognized the real pain and loss caused by the accident. Usyk expressed sincere support for Joshua's recovery and paid respect to those who lost their lives. His words reflected empathy, maturity, and dignity, reminding fans what the true spirit of boxing is supposed to represent.
I mean,
that's bonkers. Thank God he didn't have a seatbelt on. I never say that. Thank God he didn't have a fucking seatbelt on, because if he did,
there's no way.
He would be dead.
There's
Probably,
no
or fucking...
Joe Rogan's reaction made it clear just how close Anthony Joshua came to a devastating outcome. The fact that he survived does not take away from how terrifying the crash was. Instead, it highlights how fragile life can be outside the boxing ring, where there are no rules, no referees, and no control. Some fans online have been speculating that Jake Paul's jealousy may have played a role, but it is important to stress that there is no evidence supporting those claims. These are only rumors circulating on social media, not facts. What this incident truly shows is that even champions like Anthony Joshua are vulnerable to situations completely beyond their control. The crash has sent shockwaves through the boxing world, reminding everyone that no matter how strong or famous an athlete is, real life can change everything in an instant.
Sometimes when someone is a star, they have a lot of things in their life taken care of for them. So you really have to move into that mode in this situation as well. Make sure obviously they're getting the best medical attention, make sure their family are safe and happy and
Eddie Hearn's comments brought attention to the human side of Anthony Joshua's horrific crash. He made it clear that this situation is not just about a boxer, but about real people whose lives have been forever changed, including the families of those who tragically lost their lives. Online, some fans have been questioning Jake Paul's involvement, creating a wave of suspicion and anger. However, it is important to stress that there is no evidence linking him to the accident. These reactions are driven by emotion and speculation, not confirmed facts. Hearn's call for care, respect, and compassion stood in sharp contrast to what many fans viewed as cold and calculated responses coming from the Paul camp online. To many in the boxing community, Hearn's words reflected where the true heart of the sport lies, with those who genuinely support fighters and show respect for the families affected by tragedy. Chris Eubank Jr.'s reaction highlights just how serious the situation around Anthony Joshua really is. This is not about headlines, clicks, or social media drama. It is about a fighter who survived a near-fatal car accident, while two members of his team tragically lost their lives. Eubank's response was rooted in genuine concern, showing that the boxing community understands when it is time to put hype aside and face reality. At the same time, some fans online have been speculating that Jake Paul's bitterness after losing to Anthony Joshua may somehow be connected to the crash. These claims are being discussed heavily online, but it is important to note that there is no confirmed evidence supporting such theories. Still, Jake Paul's condolence posts have done little to calm suspicions among certain fans who feel his messages lack sincerity. Many online voices believe Paul's jealousy over Joshua's success could point to foul play or reckless behavior, even as his camp continues to present an image of sympathy and concern. The online community, however, remains unconvinced. This reaction shows how fragile trust and reputation can be in boxing, especially when a top champion like Anthony Joshua is placed in mortal danger and the Paul brothers are part of the wider conversation. Reports surrounding Joshua's accident paint a disturbing picture. Fans are shaken by images of him injured, while two close team members lost their lives. Every new detail seems to fuel further speculation online, with whispers suggesting dark motives and even revenge. The footage of Joshua being pulled from the wrecked SUV is chilling, a stark reminder that even the strongest champions are vulnerable to life-threatening situations outside the ring. The boxing world has been left stunned, uneasy, and deeply concerned, grappling with both the tragedy itself and the wave of speculation that has followed. Brendan Schaub summed up the horror of the crash in a very direct way. He described Anthony Joshua surviving such a brutal collision as nothing short of a miracle. At the same time, he reminded everyone that this outcome came with heartbreaking loss, as two people lost their lives in that same moment. Many fans online are struggling to process the timing and circumstances of the accident, with some questioning whether Jake Paul's envy could have played a role. However, it must be clearly stated that there is no evidence linking Jake Paul to the crash. These ideas are coming from online speculation, not confirmed facts. The flood of reactions shows a mix of shock, disbelief, grief, and overwhelming support for Joshua. More than anything, it highlights how the boxing community comes together most strongly when one of its heroes faces a near-fatal situation, putting rivalries aside in moments of real human tragedy.
Joshua collided with a stationary truck. However, the exact circumstances of the crash are still under investigation. A video of the incident just you've seen, the 35-year-old former heavyweight champion being rescued from the wrecked vehicle appears to have suffered injury. So the traffic officials have spoken about this incident. Let's take a listen to them.
What we'll discover was that men at Shagam unit informed us of the unfortunate incident. From what we got to understand was that there was a trailer that was parked at the shoulder, whereby the vehicle conveying Anthony Joshua and his team did a wrongful overtake, and they ran into that vehicle, which was definitely because of the overspeeding. I didn't think they were no overspeeding, probably that wouldn't have been that fatal. And from the report we have 5 people were involved in the total. 2 people lost their lives, and the rest just had injuries. He was not among the people that died anyway, but the DSS details that were with him took him to an undisclosed location, took him to an hospital.
Liam Goff's response brings attention to the heartbreaking human impact of the accident involving Anthony Joshua. While many fans feel relief knowing Joshua survived, the deaths of 2 close friends have placed a deep and painful shadow over the entire situation. The tragedy goes far beyond boxing results or headlines. Online, speculation has spread rapidly, with some people pointing fingers at Jake Paul and suggesting envy or bitterness may have played a role. However, it is important to clearly state that there is no evidence supporting these claims. These ideas are driven by emotion and rumor, not confirmed facts. The emotional weight of this incident is being felt around the world, as boxing fans are once again reminded that even the greatest fighters are vulnerable outside the ring. Goff's words of condolence have strongly resonated with the public, serving as a reminder that real lives have been permanently changed by this tragedy. As the shock settles, Anthony Joshua now begins a long road to recovery, both physically and emotionally, following the car accident that has shaken the boxing community.
SUV struck the stationary truck. So I just want to give you guys the breaking news. Unfortunately, Anthony Joshua was involved in a car accident in Nigeria. Prayers to Anthony H.A. Joshua.
Tony Bellu's reaction put the spotlight on Anthony Joshua's resilience and character in the aftermath of the terrifying crash. Even though Joshua was shaken and injured, Bellu pointed out that his well-known strength and sense of compassion were still clear to see. It was a reminder that AJ's character goes far beyond what people see on fight night. Online, fans have continued to debate whether Jake Paul's rivalry or jealousy could have contributed to the accident. However, it is important to state clearly that there is no evidence linking Jake Paul to the crash. These discussions are based on speculation, not confirmed facts. Bellu's comments brought the focus back to the human side of boxing, away from rivalries and competition. The world is watching a fighter who has survived brutal battles in the ring, now facing a very different kind of challenge outside of it. As Anthony Joshua begins his recovery, Bellu's perspective reinforces why support, care, and compassion matter most during moments of real tragedy.
Anthony Joshua injured in car accident. 2 people who I believe were with Anthony Joshua were friends of his have tragically passed away. Before I carry on reading the article, the 2 people who have tragically passed, my condolences is all I can say. To their friends and families, we'll definitely offer.
Eddie Hearn's comments highlight both the relief and the uncertainty surrounding Anthony Joshua's condition after the crash. Fans are anxiously waiting for clear confirmation that his injuries are not life-threatening, and Hearn's careful, measured tone reflects the tension being felt across the entire boxing world. His words show hope, but also caution, as everyone waits for complete medical clarity. At the same time, speculation about Jake Paul's possible involvement continues to circulate online, sparking heated debates and emotional reactions. It is important to state clearly that there is no evidence linking Jake Paul to the accident. These discussions are driven by rumor and suspicion, not confirmed facts. More than anything, this incident is a reminder that fame, strength, and success do not protect anyone from sudden danger. Anthony Joshua's survival is nothing short of remarkable. Hearn's comments capture the shared emotions of a global boxing community, watching one of its heroes endure a terrifying experience and begin a long, difficult road to recovery, with fans around the world hoping and praying for his full return to health.
I don't believe Josh would have. I believe Josh might have some compassion in him.
Eddie Hearn's comments underline both the relief and uncertainty surrounding.
Anthony Joshua has been called a very lucky boy, and his reflections before the accident highlight the balance he has always tried to maintain between life and boxing. The recent crash casts those moments of self-reflection in a sobering light, reminding fans just how quickly life can change. Speculation has circulated online linking Jake Paul to the accident, but it is important to note that there is no evidence connecting him to the crash. What stands out most is Joshua's focus on responsibility, family, and dedication to his craft. These qualities underline the resilience that defines him, showing that his strength goes far beyond physical ability. His approach sends a message that resonates beyond boxing. Perspective and priorities matter, even in the face of sudden challenges. Joshua's commitment to improving himself and his love for the sport will guide him through recovery, inspiring fans and fellow fighters alike.
I don't know, so I don't want to say that, but I'm hoping that some of the news we're hearing that it doesn't look like he has any major injuries is true, and that would be fantastic, and obviously be a very lucky.
Eddie Hearn's reaction reflects both the shock and urgency surrounding Anthony Joshua's crash. Although many details of the incident are still emerging, the boxing world has quickly rallied behind the former champion. Fans have speculated whether Jake Paul's past defeats and possible resentment could have influenced events, adding tension to the narrative. Hearn emphasized the importance of offering care and support, not just for Joshua, but also for the families affected, reminding everyone that the human cost goes far beyond headlines. This incident underscores that even the strongest athletes are vulnerable outside the ring, and the community's response reflects solidarity and hope as Joshua begins the long process of physical and emotional recovery. Chase Delra's heartfelt message further highlights the fragility of life, even for elite athletes like Joshua. Fans remain in shock, grappling with the news of the accident, while online speculation about Jake Paul's potential involvement has intensified. The timing of the crash, coming after Joshua's victories over Paul, has fueled a narrative of jealousy and vindictiveness, sparking a flurry of theories on social media. Delra's call for safety resonates deeply, reminding the boxing world of the stark difference between the controlled danger of the ring and the unpredictable risks outside it. Supporters are focused on Joshua's recovery while demanding accountability, emphasizing that even the greatest fighters are not immune to the schemes, envy, or reckless actions of others, with Jake Paul's name repeatedly surfacing in online discussions.
I realized that I was working away from home. I was spending time with my friends, and my wife wasn't happy. So I had to kind of look at the decisions I was making, and I had to come back home to boxing, and I had to sacrifice, I had to take a look at my life, make necessary.
Ryan Garcia's reaction highlights the concern and disbelief rippling through the boxing world following Anthony Joshua's horrific car accident. As a fellow fighter, Garcia reminded fans of the dangers athletes face outside the ring. At the same time, online discussions have been dominated by speculation that Jake Paul's envy and lingering resentment might somehow be connected to the crash. Some fans argue that Paul's bitterness after Joshua's victories could have driven him toward extreme measures, adding a layer of suspicion to an already tragic situation. Garcia's comments underscore genuine worry for Joshua's well-being while also showing how intense rivalries and strong emotions can exist behind the scenes. The incident serves as a stark reminder that the mental game in boxing extends far beyond the ring, where jealousy and rivalry can potentially have real-world consequences. Promoter Frank Warren echoed the industry's concern over Joshua's crash. While his focus is on the safety and recovery of the fighter, fans continue to speculate about Paul's involvement, weaving a narrative of jealousy and malicious intent. Warren stressed the severity of the situation and the importance of medical attention and support for Joshua, even as the rumor mill fuels suspicion by connecting past rivalries and the timing of the crash to Paul. This combination of official concern and fan-driven speculation has created a charged atmosphere, where every statement is scrutinized and interpreted through the lens of potential motives. Analyst Turki Alashik also addressed the seriousness of Joshua's injuries, including concerns about possible brain trauma, which has shocked fans worldwide. Alashik highlighted Joshua's physical vulnerability despite his dominance in the ring. Meanwhile, online forums are abuzz with theories suggesting that Paul's jealousy from previous defeats may have played a role, dissecting timelines, videos, and social media posts to construct a narrative where he appears suspicious. Alashik's focus on the severity of Joshua's injuries serves as a sobering reminder that even elite athletes are not invincible, and combined with the tragic loss of companions in the crash, it has fueled outrage and speculation. The shocking accident has sent waves of fear and anger through the boxing community. While Joshua fights to recover from serious injuries, speculation about Jake Paul's possible involvement continues to dominate online discussions. Promoters, fighters, and analysts have expressed deep concern, emphasizing the physical and emotional toll on Joshua and mourning the tragic loss of his friends. This incident reveals the darker side of boxing rivalries, showing how competition can spill far beyond the ring. At the same time, Alexander Usyk and Joshua's supporters have rallied around him, celebrating his resilience and mental strength. Meanwhile, scrutiny on Paul intensifies with each new comment and theory circulating online. Fans now face a choice: support Anthony Joshua and his comeback or continue speculating about Jake Paul's motives. The debate remains heated, and everyone is weighing where their trust lies in this complex and emotional situation. discussions.
To the schemes and envy of rivals, with Jake Paul's name repeatedly surfacing in discussions online.
Or said, I hope and pray that Anthony Joshua is okay. Life happens so fast. 1 minute on top of the world, the next not. Stay safe, boys. Let's finish this year strong.